Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about a potential signing for the Houston Texans. As I've seen a couple tweets on Houston Texans Twitter saying that the Houston Texans should pick up a new free agent quarterback, and that is Max Duggan, former TCU star, who was a part of the TCU team that he led to the national championship game, was fantastic in the Fiesta Bowl against Michigan, where they upset Michigan to go to the national championship, and they would play Georgia, and that's where Duggan and TCU would go down and lose 65-7, just absolutely getting crushed. But I know a lot of people talk about that game and how bad Duggan was in that game, and how bad TCU was in that game, and how good Georgia was in that game. But Duggan had an unbelievable season at TCU. With the run game as a quarterback, the pass game as a quarterback was unbelievable as well. Had some great numbers there at TCU last year. A great season. He led a team at TCU who, honestly, they were a team last year. There was probably a lot of people that didn't even think they'd be in the top 25, and here they were going into the college football playoffs, ranked number 3. And upsetting Michigan, who were one of the best teams in college football Michigan was the best team in college football besides Georgia last year. And a lot of people made arguments that Michigan was better than Georgia, which was not true. And honestly, here's how I feel. I feel that Max Duggan and TCU are both underrated. TCU just went to the national championship, and they're starting this season ranked number 17. I mean, I know they got their ass kicked in the national championship, and they lost a lot of players to the NFL draft. They lost a lot of players that are in the NFL now. Their quarterback, Max Duggan, star wide receiver, Quentin Johnson, he's with the Chargers. He's with the Chargers as well. They drafted him in the first round. Condre Miller's with the Saints. They're starting running back. One of their defensive tackles, Dylan Horton, got drafted by the Texans in the fourth round. And they lost other players to the draft as well. But 17, the fact that they're not in the top 10 and they just were in the national championship, I know they lost 65-7, but they were in the national championship and they're ranked 17 starting college football. But Duggan just was really good for that TCU team. And honestly, he would have been better than a 7th round pick if he would have definitely been better than a 7th round pick if you didn't see TCU get crushed the way they did. And Max Duggan just got waived by the Los Angeles Chargers after, he got drafted by them in the 7th round. They didn't really want to keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster. They had Easton Stick, a guy they really liked. And so they wanted to keep Stick on the roster as their backup quarterback. So they waived Max Duggan. And I've seen a couple Texans fans. I've seen 2 or 3 Texans fans say on Twitter they think the Texans should sign Max Duggan. It wouldn't be a bad idea. I just don't know if I see it happening. If you think about it, Stroud's going to be the starter. I would think Mills is going to be the backup. I don't think the Texans are going to cut Davis Mills. I don't think there's any way in hell the Texans are going to cut Case Keenum either, because he didn't play in the last 2 preseason games. The Texans also want Case Keenum around as a veteran experience, especially for a veteran for C.J. Stroud and a veteran for all the other younger guys. Basically like an extra coach out there, and all the guys love Case Keenum. E.J. Perry, who played the whole second half last night for the Texans, he will definitely be cut. But honestly, possibly, could the Houston Texans keep all 3 quarterbacks on the roster with C.J. Stroud, Davis Mills, and Case Keenum, and then maybe sign Max Duggan to the practice squad? That is something I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. If possibly the Texans roll with 4 quarterbacks, which not a lot of teams do. But the third quarterback, Case Keenum, is more like a coach than a quarterback, but he can play if you need him to. But you would have Stroud as the starter, Mills as the backup, and Case Keenum as the third string, and a veteran and a mentor, more of a veteran and a mentor than he is a third-string quarterback. And then you'd have Max Duggan as a practice squad quarterback, just in case one of those guys gets hurt or 2 of those guys get hurt. I'm not saying I'm never say never, but I doubt it happens. Duggan has a lot of talent, and I think we'd be wasting it if we signed him. So I think someone should pick him up that actually needs him. But I mean, who knows? Maybe the 49ers would be a good fit. They like 7th round draft picks. They only have 2 quarterbacks right now because they just traded Trey Lance, and they only have Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy. And for a team like the 49ers who had so many injuries at the quarterback position like they did last year, I don't know, maybe Max Duggan could be a good fit for the 49ers, just saying. But yeah, use your thoughts on the potential signing for the Houston Texans. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know your thoughts. Peace out. Go Texans.